Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you have a great morning this morning. It is Monday morning. As always, a coffee kind of morning. Cheers, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to be revisiting King Crimson again today, as I just received an amazing album over the weekend, actually yesterday. So this is going to be Discipline and my thoughts on Reimagining in the Court of the Crimson King. That fantastic album that I've listened to at least 3 times. Going to plan on listening to it much more. But Discipline, this is the 8th album by the band, King Crimson, of course. Originally released in 1981, October 2nd. This is their 8th studio album. I've re-sleeved it both inner and outer. As it only came with this almost like a advertisement for the band, so I decided to put a new inner sleeve and outer sleeve on there. I love the embossing of the circle. This came out after a 7-year period where the band hadn't put out any studio albums. Robert Fripp and Bill Bruford were the only remaining members. They were then joined by vocalist, guitarist, and frontman Adrian Belew, who was previously with Frank Zappa and David Bowie's backing bands, and also a touring member of Talking Heads, and amazing bassist and backing vocalist Tony Levin. Kind of a new sound for the band, known as post-progressive rock. It's described as art rock and progressive new wave, post-progressive dance rock. One of the most unique albums out there, but from what I've understood, and again, I've only listened to it a little bit. I haven't listened to it or delved into it much. Apparently this is a masterpiece, so I'm looking forward to listening to this one. So Discipline, amazing album by King Crimson. And speaking of amazing, I'm absolutely loving Reimagining in the Court of the Crimson King. This was thanks to Glen Kelleway from the Basement, who caught my attention when he was showing this, primarily because of the musicians included, but also because it was taking this album and coming up with some different ideas for this album. So that really caught my attention. I think it's fantastic. There's the inner sleeve there. The musicians on this album are remarkable. Arthur Brown, Todd Rundgren, Mel Collins from King Crimson, Chris Poland from Megadeth, Ian Pace, one of my favorite drummers from Deep Purple, Jaco Jakic from King Crimson, amazing lead singer and guitarist, Alan Davey from Hawkwind, Paul Rudolph from Pink Fairies, Nick Turner from Hawkwind, Danny Faulkner from Hoodoo Chorus, Steve Hillage from Gong, Jolyn Turner from Rainbow, Marty Friedman from Megadeth, Wobble from Pill, Chester Thompson from Frank Zappa, James LaBrie from Dream Theater, and Carmine Appice, the amazing drummer from Vanilla Fudge and Cactus. Special limited edition. I showed this one. Beautiful blue vinyl as well. But what a fantastic album. Again, remarkable. There's the back cover as well. So the first track got Todd Rundgren, Arthur Brown, Mel Collins, Chris Poland, and Ian Pace. The drumming through this is fantastic. I'm not sure who sings lead within this version, whether it's Arthur Brown. I think it's Arthur Brown on verse 1 and 3, and Todd Rundgren on verse 2. There's definitely a difference in style. The opening track has the same feelings and structure as the original song, but it sounds more modern, obviously. I love this version. It gives you all the same feels as the original when you first hear it. It's fantastic. I Talk to the Wind, Jocko Jakic, Danjo Jakic, and Mel Collins. I think the vocals might be Jocko. It sounds amazing, whoever sings. Easier to listen to, perhaps, than the lead vocals of Greg Lake singing the same song, even though Greg Lake was remarkable. And the musicianship and production are so good. It's a beautifully underrated song. It's a modern version of the original as well, but it sounds so good. Epitaph, Alan Davies, Paul Rudolph, Nick Turner, Adam Hamilton, Danny Faulkner. 3 former members of Hawkwind included on this track. I think the vocals are a little stronger on this version, maybe more up front than the 1969 recordings. The drumming's fantastic. The vocals sound a lot like Greg Lake, for sure. A lot of vibes in both versions. Beautiful mellotron keyboard sounds. The new version is about 3.5 minutes shorter, but it's got the same structure as the original. Another fantastic cover that pays homage to the same magic as the original track had. Moonchild, you got Jolene Turner, Marty Friedman, Ja Wobble, Chester Thompson. Again, another one that's about 2.5 minutes. Actually, no, this one's not shorter. It was the next one. Sorry, it's a 2.5 minute song with 10 minutes of a journey, basically. It's got Jolene Turner up front singing vocals, singing a lot differently than Greg Lake did in the original, but still incredible. Pretty much the same structure, fairly authentic to the original as well, until you get the instrumental part. The instrumental part's quite different. It goes off in a different direction than the original did. You got Ja Wobble adding some great bass lines, Marty Friedman, a lot of improvisations and jazz guitar, and Chester Thompson adding some great drumming on that one. It's a great version. I love the change. I love the original as well, but I love the change on that one. Then you got In the Court of the Crimson King, James LaBrie, Carmine Appice, and another amazing drummer, and Steve Hillage. Another track, there's the track that's shorter than the original. That's what I was just talking about. Excellent guitar parts, which are a bit different than the original as well. I love the lead guitar work. It just accentuates the keyboards during the choruses. It isn't like the original version. The lead vocals are great as well. James LaBrie does a fantastic job even trying to keep up with the iconic vocals of Greg Lake, and he does a fantastic job, as I said. And a great track. 21st Century Schizoid Man, version 2. Got Arthur Brown, Brian Auger, and Chris Poland and Ian Pace on drums. A much bigger, spacier sound than the original. The guitar is kind of laid back on this one, and the sax is more up front, but the main instrumentation is still there. Organ, keyboards, and bass and drums. Excellent playing by one of the best drummers out there, Ian Pace, from Deep Purple. Really cool change in vibes, and it also justifies that reimagining description of this album. The musicianship is top-notch, not only through this track, but through the whole album for sure. Then you got 21st Century Schizoid Man. Say that 10 times fast. Instrumental version. All the same musicians from the track, the one I just talked about. Identical to the track that I just talked about, but without the vocals. The only vocals on that track are about 45 seconds long. So why did they add this version? I think it's because they needed filler. The whole album was only about 37 minutes long, so they needed that instrumental version to fill. Yeah, I'm still happy they put it in. It's nice to listen to, but I prefer the one with the vocals in it for sure. I love the cover. I love the cover. If you compare to the original is kind of quirky, kind of trippy, kind of comic in its design. Still amazing, iconic cover. But this one's more distinct and alarming. Something you might see on a horror movie cover, a comic cover, that type of thing. Grabs your attention. Even the gatefold is awesome as well. Okay. And the back cover, I think it's just fantastic. It's a fantastic reimagining of an amazing debut album. I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10, in my opinion. I think it's just wonderful. I'm going to continue to listen to it. I'm blown away by the musicianship and the musicians on this album. It's cool that they got all those great musicians together to create this fantastic reimagining. It's different. It doesn't have to be the same. In some cases, it is very much the same, which is okay, because what's not to like about this fantastic album? So it's great in my opinion. If you don't know this album, definitely pick it up. If you don't know the original, definitely pick it up as well. So there you have it, guys. There's my thoughts on three fantastic albums: Discipline and In the Court of the Crimson King, and the reimagining of In the Court of the Crimson King. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Love you all. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.